So how did I actually grow on YouTube over the past 2 years? How did I go from 0 with nobody knowing me at all to over 1,000 subscribers with a full-time job, with a wife, with 2 kids? How did I balance all of that? And now, do I earn enough money for it to even be worth it? There's so many questions, right? And you've probably got a million more that you're thinking about. Well, in this video, I'm going to try and answer all of them. If you don't know me and you're new to the channel, hi, I'm John. I'm a filmmaker and I live in the UK, and I've got a wife, as I've already mentioned, and 2 lovely kids. And I forgot to mention my 2 incredible little dogs, which are somewhere running around the house right now, probably causing chaos. And I've always had a passion for content creation and YouTube and filmmaking. But around 2 years ago, I decided I wanted to start making YouTube videos to share all of my knowledge around tech reviews and filmmaking and cameras and gear and all of that sort of stuff. Just basically all of the tech nerdiness that was in my brain, I wanted to get out onto YouTube to share with everyone. And that's where my YouTube journey started. So fast forward to today, where I've been uploading videos fairly consistently, and I've got over 1,000 subscribers now, and the channel's growing at a nice steady pace and everything's sort of settled in a nice rhythm. But what advice would I give to myself 2 years ago? So if you're just starting and you were back where I was 2 years ago, what advice would I give to you? And is it worth it? And all of those millions of questions that you have. So number one, we need to start by facing facts, where the idea of being a content creator or influencer or any sort of YouTuber or anything like that is a realistic job prospect, which a lot of young people want to do nowadays. So back in the day, you would have looked to have gone to college, spent thousands in getting in debt, trying to get an education to then go and get a normal job to contribute to society. Whereas in today's world, we need to face reality that kids nowadays or young people nowadays want to be creators, because they can, instead of getting thousands in debt, it's quite simple that they can just spend half of that money investing in online courses and a few simple bits of camera gear and computer equipment, and then they can start creating content and start making real money from it and having real opportunities online with brands and going to events and traveling the world and things like that, to make realistic money and make a lot more money than what we could have done doing normal jobs. That is a realistic job prospect nowadays. Now, is it hard? Yes. And one thing we need to get into our head straight away, and one thing you're probably thinking watching this is, well, if it was that easy, everyone would do it. And it's not. And I've said this in previous videos because it's true, and it just needs to be hammered home a little bit. That the idea of you looking at big creators, big YouTubers, that've got millions of subscribers, that have uploaded over 1,000 videos over the space of 10 years, that are earning millions of dollars and traveling the world with all these brands and having all these amazing opportunities, and thinking you can do it from day one, is like the equivalent of you looking at the managing director of a big corporate company who's been in that industry for about 15-20 years, who's worked their way up and is making $500,000 a year. That's the equivalent of you walking into the reception, asking to be the secretary, and then going, right, I want to be the managing director now. It's the same equivalent. So being a YouTube creator or any sort of influencer is the same thing. You need to start small and build your way up to that level. You're not going to get to 1 million subscribers overnight unless you're lucky. Now, the difference between a corporate job and the influencer world is that the potential for immediate exponential growth is quite big, and the potential for that is different to the corporate world. In the corporate world, you're going to have to work your way up and get qualifications and get experience over the years. With the YouTuber world, you could just have a video blow up overnight, or have your whole career blow up overnight, and it could completely change the trajectory of your job and your life, or whatever you want to do. So we need to face facts that is the reality of today, and it's something that's very realistic for people. But you have to be able to understand that you need to commit to it, and if you really want to do it, then you need to look at the next part, which is starting out. When you start out, you need to understand why you want to do it to begin with, not just to jump on the bandwagon of because everyone else is doing it and because I want to travel the world and earn millions. You need to understand why you want to do it. You need to have a core reason that's keeping you grounded on why you want to begin this journey to begin with to be a creator. And then you need to understand who you're serving, because there's a bit of a news flash that I need to tell you here, that nobody cares about you. No one cares about your videos. No one cares about your message or your truth. No one cares about it. What people care about is how you can help them. So Any video I share with people, I try to educate them on filmmaking, on YouTube education, on camera gear, on studio equipment, on monitors, on anything that's going to help them to have a home studio, that's going to help them with being a creator, being a YouTube educator, being a filmmaker, having all the best gear, having all the best equipment on whatever budget they have, that's going to help them to elevate whatever they're trying to achieve. So you need to understand what you're trying to do is going to do the same thing. Whoever that is, let's say you want to start a gardening channel. You need to understand that people don't care about your garden or what you're doing to your garden. They want to know what they can do for their garden and the ideas that they can get to do for their stuff. So whatever it is you want to tell, whatever message you want to tell, you need to have your core message at heart of who you're trying to help, what specific target audience you're trying to reach. And we use here the big fish in the small pond analogy, because if you're trying to help everyone, then you're going to end up helping no one. You need to try and have a very specific niche and be a key person of influence in that niche, so everybody comes to you for your content and your ideas. And I would recommend a book by Daniel Priestley, which I can't find here right now, but it's a book called Key Person of Influence, and it's this whole idea of you being the key person, the main person that people will go to for a specific thing. So if people want to look at tech reviews, they'll go to Marques Brownlee. YouTube education, they'll go to VidiQ or Think Media. If people want to look at all the latest Marvel news and Marvel theories, they'll go to a channel like New Rockstars. You need to look at something like that and figure out what your niche is and who you can help. The third thing is learning, and this is where the learning begins and the education begins. Because to be a YouTuber, you need to learn how to use basic camera gear. Now, you can just get started with your phone. I've said that a million times. Then if you want to upgrade to a good camera, then for around £600, you can get something like the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which is a fantastic camera with a great sensor, and it has a little flippy screen on it where you can watch yourself while you're filming. And I would recommend getting started with something like that. But there's a whole host of cameras and gear that you can get on a budget that's going to make your whole video setup better. But not just about learning how to use the gear. You need to learn how to do editing, how to do storytelling, how to use graphics, how to upload to YouTube, how the YouTube algorithm works, how to start your video, how to make titles and thumbnails. And it just never ends. The whole thing never ends. It's always learning. 2 years later, and I'm still learning how to grow on YouTube. I'm still learning how to use new editing tricks, how to make better thumbnails and titles. I'm always learning and always developing. I never am ignorant enough that I think I've learned everything and I know everything. I'm always trying to learn new tricks and new things. So the learning for YouTube is always ongoing. Number 4 is the implementation. This is when you just start making videos. So after I learned how to make all of my videos, I implemented the first few steps, right? I knew that it was going to be hard. I knew it was going to be a long slog, but I knew that it was a realistic prospect of something that I wanted to do long term, that would give me the freedom and flexibility to be able to work when I want, to be able to build a legacy and a business that my kids could one day take over and step into and work on with me, and we could have a brand and a business that they could work on with me. And that's what I wanted. That was my vision. That was my goal. My niche and my target audience who I wanted to help was YouTubers and filmmakers and tech enthusiasts that wanted to build their home studio. That was my audience. And I've already said my why about why I wanted to do it. Then I started learning about filmmaking, camera gear, and all of that stuff that I've already mentioned. Next was the implementation. So then I just started making YouTube videos. This is how I actually grew on YouTube. I started by uploading probably once a week, once a month, whenever I could get the time. There was no sort of set upload schedule. I would just do it as and when I could fit it in around my family, my work, all that kind of stuff. Because at the time when I first started uploading on YouTube, I had a toddler and my wife was pregnant with number 2. So probably not the best time to start a YouTube channel, but do you know what? But better to start than never at all, right? So that was my idea. I just thought I'd give it a go. Then I just spent a few months learning, and then I just started making videos just sporadically as and when I could, on whenever I had inspiration, whenever I had an idea, whenever there was new content out or new products being released. I just started making videos around things that I enjoyed making videos about. And it was very sporadic to begin with. And there's this whole thing which you have to do, which is just start messy. Once you've learned what to do and you've learned the basics, just start doing it, because there's never going to be a perfect time. There's always going to be new things to learn, so just start messy. So then I just started uploading to YouTube every so often, and luckily my first video, I think it got like 300 views. It did quite well. So once I started and did the implementation of it, I just kept on that train for a little while of uploading whenever I could, just to see how it went. And it started okay, but I had a couple of videos that got a couple of 100 views. Then I had one that got like 10 views. Then I got one that did really well and got like 20,000 views, which I was like, wow, that's amazing. 20,000 views as a new YouTuber, that's amazing. But then it just sort of fell back down again and started getting hardly any. So it was this big roller coaster of going up and down, up and down, up and down. And then there was a period where I didn't upload for like 2 or 3 months just because of life, work, kids, family, everything. It was just, I just couldn't find the time to do it. So I just fell off the wagon a little bit. And then after a little while, I started uploading again, probably like 1 or 2 videos a month, I think. And then it went to 2 videos a week. And then I tried to keep that consistency of 2 videos a week, 2 videos a week, 2 videos a week. And this is when the next thing comes in, which is being flexible. You need to be flexible. You cannot be rigid. And if you are new to the channel and want to support a desperate creator in need, then please subscribe to the channel, because I will have all of the latest filmmaking gear, tech news, home studio equipment news, and best advice for growing on YouTube. So if you want to be part of all that, then hit the subscribe button. Unless you're 20 years old and young and single and just have a job and YouTube. If you've got that, then you can throw the kitchen sink at it. But if you are like most people that have a job, that have kids, that have a very, very busy life, then you just need to be flexible and just be able to do it when you can. Now, you do need to prioritize it over other things like Netflix, like watching crap on TV, or like playing video games, or whatever it is you like doing in your spare time. You do need to prioritize it, because otherwise you'll never end up doing it. And you need to decide how important it is to you. But if it's really important, then you just need to keep uploading videos, keep making mistakes, and just keep learning. And that's my next point, is making mistakes. You will make so many mistakes on your YouTube journey. I've made so many mistakes. I'm still making mistakes, but you've just got to keep going, keep uploading, and just keep doing what's best. Alex Hormozy says it's best, where it's like volume negates luck. So if you keep uploading videos and keep uploading key quality videos, then you will negate the luck factor of, well, I'll just upload 1 video a month that's amazing and hope it does well. Yes, in an ideal world, you would do that. But realistically, when you're starting out, you just need to keep throwing things at the wall and hope something sticks. That's what you need to do. Number 7 is growing and adapting. You need to grow and you need to learn. You need to adapt. Whenever you make a video, whenever it doesn't work, you need to eat your ego a little bit and not get miserable and sad and think, why didn't this work? Oh my God, the algorithm hates me. Forget that. You need to just learn from it, learn what didn't do well, and then try something new. Yes, it's difficult. No one said this was going to be easy, but it is good fun. It is a learning curve, and it's a challenge. And if you're anything like me, I love a challenge, and I like trying to figure out, okay, why didn't this work? What can I do better? And that's what you need to implement and try and always adapt and always grow as a person, as a YouTuber and as a creator and as a filmmaker, and as a business owner, and just try to adapt and always get better. And number 8 is consistency, sort of, because you want to be consistent with YouTube, but kind of. You also, like I said earlier, need to be flexible. So you need to have a rough upload schedule in your head. Just aim for once a week. Don't overburden yourself to begin with. But if you can stick to that, great. But if you don't beat yourself up about it. The whole point of this business venture in the beginning is that you need to make it adaptable around your life. That's why you want to do it, so you have time freedom. Now, what's really funny is that you ask any YouTuber or any creator, they will tell you that the whole point of starting on YouTube is so you can have the 4-hour work week, right? So you can work when you want and make a lot more money. But you ask any of them, if it's your business, you're passionate about it, you will end up working 10 times more than you did in a job. Because of a job, you'll go to work, you'll do your 8 or 9 hours or whatever, you'll come home and you'll switch off and spend time with your family. With a business, you will end up working 10-hour days for 7 days a week half the time, if you can fit it in, because you enjoy it and you're passionate about it. So it is a lot more work, but it is worth it. And if you're passionate about it, you enjoy it, who cares? You're having fun. So my journey of starting on YouTube was literally I just started with a toddler and a pregnant wife, and just started uploading videos as and when I could. I made loads of messes along the way, made loads of mistakes, started off on once a week, twice a week. Then it was like once every 3 months. And I just tried to keep that consistency, but it wasn't always there. And you've just got to keep rolling with it. And then I just uploaded when I could. And then eventually it was really slow growth, really slow growth. Some videos would get me 50 subscribers. Some videos would get me -2 subscribers. Who knows? But then eventually when you get to 1,000, the snowball effect starts to kick in and you just start to get more momentum and you start to get more growth, more subscribers, more views in your videos, and it just starts to pick up more. And you just need to stick with it because it's a long game. Remember what I said. It's like walking into a brand new job on a corporate environment and starting off as the secretary and saying, I want to be the managing director on $500,000 a year. That's not going to happen. You need to understand, you need to start at the bottom and work your way up and keep going. The only difference is that the exponential growth and the potential is a lot better than it is in a corporate environment. So you need to just stick with it. So my journey has been a tough one. It's still a tough one. I still enjoy it, but it's still tough. There's still days when I moan and whine about it, but I still enjoy it and I'm not going to give up. So I hope this was valuable to you. And if you want to know what the lessons that I learned after uploading 100 YouTube videos, then click this lesson right here because this is something I wish I knew when I first started out.